Alright, hello and welcome back. I'm gonna get started on a couple of things for the 2J today. So in this box I should have my shifter relocation bracket from Auto Sports Engineering. And then right there I've got a 3/16 brake line hose that I ordered off of Amazon. So if I need to use that I will, and I'll bend it to better fit the engine bay of the 350Z since the old one won't clear the intake. There she be. So here's what that looks like outside of the box. That's gonna go on top of there, get bolted down, and you can see it's significantly shorter than the old shifter linkage already. Alright, so as you can see, this has been welded together. You basically just cut the straight part out of this, weld the butts end to end, and then you can see, if I can get a good angle, right there from the top, fits straight in. This is in the neutral position, then it goes back and forward from there. But looks like it's gonna work 100% perfect. So I'll put everything together and we'll see how it looks when it's done. I guess I gotta get a spacer for those. Hold on. I just got different bolts that didn't have a weird flat spot in it. So these have a collar on it basically, where it's kind of machined into the bolt. You can see the flat spot right there. And it kind of slides in on the old shifter. But on this one, they didn't recess this for whatever reason. So I'm just gonna use standard bolts instead. I gotta make them shorter. Freaking Auto Sports Engineering. Great bracket, but now I gotta change literally all the hardware. The ones back here and the ones in front. There we go. I dropped it, but that's the solution right there. Something's keeping it from going into first. That's third, fourth. What are we hitting on? Oh, the bolt is hitting on the bracket. Nice, hold on. Right here, you can see it's hitting right there. Oh my God, my finger. It's hitting right there on the bracket. So Auto Sports Engineering, great bracket, but supply the f***ing hardware if you're gonna change all of it. That's stupid. These bolts didn't fit, those bolts didn't fit from factory, and this factory bolt is now hitting there. So you gotta change the size of this bolt, these 3 bolts, and these 2 bolts to make it fit. These have to go longer, these have to go shorter, and that has to go shorter. Why didn't they just supply it, or at least tell us that's what we had to do? I don't know, but hey, at least I'm smart enough to figure out what the problem is. All right, put a different bolt in there. No longer hits over here. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, down, over, back, reverse, just like stock. Just a quick intervention to say that there is never a better time than right now to start taking care of the paint on your vehicle. So whether you've got a car, truck, motorcycle, SUV, it doesn't matter. Shine Armor is going to have a product to help you take care of it. They've got a plethora of products just like this all-in-one scratch and swirl remover that I used on my 2003 350Z to help protect and polish the surface of your vehicle. So if you're in the market for any kind of detailing supplies, head over to shinearmor.com using the link in the description below and use the code JACOBR20 to get a 20% discount on your first order. Go do it. All right, I completely forgot to show anyone that I did this with the brake line, so I'll show it to you right now real quick. So this hose stuff right here that I bought on Amazon that I talked about earlier, I just bent that, and instead of reusing the old one, I just modified the new stuff here to fit kind of in an OEM way. So it comes from, I don't really know what this is, but it's part of the brake system. Probably a reservoir of some sort that just delegates where the fluid goes to. But anyways, this goes to the left front. I just bent it here, so it would go back into the OEM spot, and then kind of followed the strut brace as well as the harness. Came down here, there was a little hole right here in the side. This is where it used to go in, but that's where the intake was hitting, so obviously I didn't want it to go back in there. So I just used this hole, put a little rubber grommet in there, and then bent it down to kind of follow this part of the seam, go down, and then just meet back up to the original spot of the brake line. But it looks really good from the top. You can't even really tell that it's not OEM. And shifter's done. Cool. And as for what's next, it's going to be pretty much taking the transmission off of the VQ35 out there. Don't know exactly how I'm going to do that. I need a way to support the engine so I can disconnect the transmission without any of it falling on the ground. Jack stands, I guess. I am still waiting on the extra AN fittings I ordered to finish up the oil feed lines. I realized that the one that I had wasn't going to go in here, so I bought a 8 AN to 3/4, I believe is what it is. I think they call it a barb because it slides in and it basically grips the inside of the tube. But I need that, and then it'll go onto the little Y pipe thing I have, which I can actually grab real quick and show you. Anyways, this is the Y pipe. 8 AN fitting will go on here, and then it slides into the hose there. I'm just waiting on it to arrive. And then I've got these two angled pieces here. This one is not tight enough, so this will kind of sit back in there somewhere, and you can see this feed line is pointing kind of like at a 90-degree angle towards the block, and this is kind of pointing too much forward, so it'd be like that in there. I need something to angle directly towards this pipe right here, so I bought a different one that's kind of like, it goes backwards a little bit. I think it's like a 120-degree instead of a 90, and hopefully that'll fix that. Then I just have to put a tube on the end of this, or a rubber tube, and clamp it to the end of this and the end of that one, and that should solve that. The other one I'm not so worried about. I mean, I'm just gonna put a tube straight from here over to the other feed line there. So that'll be solved here pretty soon. But basically in the meantime, I can work about getting the transmission off the VQ, putting all the Collins parts on the 2J. And once that's assembled, and then this is on, it's ready to go in the car. Once it's in the car, obviously, then I can really focus on coolant lines, vacuum lines, wiring, and then it'll be basically done. I will be ordering fuel system parts here pretty soon as well. I've got a DeechWorks 300, DW300 fuel pump that I'm going to get. CJ Racing Motorsports or CJ Motorsports, one of the two. They have a kit that allows you to adapt the 350 fuel pump housing to use a return line. So I'm going to get that as well. Then I'll be ordering PTFE, I believe is what it's called, fuel line. So one of these is already a fuel line. I believe it's this one here. That should be the fuel line. I might be mistaken, but I'll definitely figure it out here pretty soon. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use utilize that extra spot in the little hose clamp thing there. And then that's where I'm going to run my return line. So this is the feed. The return line can come up through there, and basically it'll route through the same place. And it goes underneath the car somewhere. And then behind this glove box is the access port to the fuel pump. So that opens up, you slide a tray out, and then there's your fuel pump. So that's where it's going to get routed to, and I'll show everything how to do that once I get it here. So I'm probably going to order that as soon as I'm finished posting this video. So that'll be on the way very shortly. I'm not gonna lie though, I am starting to feel a lot of pressure. It is already the beginning of August. It's the 7th currently as of today. I'm really planning on getting this car done by early to mid-September, before the 20th if possible, but I don't know if I'll be able to make it. I still have wiring to do. I still have an ECU to purchase. And at this point, I honestly don't know if I'm going to be making it myself anymore every time I start to sit down and try to figure things out, because the problem is I'm starting with a GE harness and I'm cross-referencing a GTE harness, and I'm trying to see what I need and don't need between the two. And even though they have a lot of similar components, it's not routed the same on the pinout diagram for the connectors. So basically I'm just going to be changing everything anyways. And to a degree, I really don't know how to wire a car yet. So I'm kind of on the fence now. I'm starting to think, well, hey, it might be a better idea to try and purchase a harness. I mean, Wiring Specialties will literally make it as long as I give them all the sensors and components. The only problem with that is I wouldn't be teaching you guys how to do it. I mean, I could reverse engineer it, or at least just show the pinouts for all the wires and what they do, but I'll have to see. I'll have to see what I have to do. That's also a really expensive option, is purchasing it, and I don't really want to go down that route because I want to be able to have as many leftover funds as I can in case something goes wrong with the car. I mean, I built it, so probably something's gonna go wrong. We'll see. But anyways, I've been telling myself to focus on what I can handle for right now. So the small things, obviously, like the oil feed, and then it's not really small, but getting the transmission off the VQ, just things I know I can handle. And then when the time comes to worry about the harness, which will probably be one of the last things I have to deal with, then I can worry about it. Anyways, that's enough of me talking your guys' ear off. So I'm going to end the video right here, but I do have some footage from Cars and Coffee when I went, so I'm going to go ahead and insert that. If you want to watch it, go ahead. If not, peace out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate every single one of you who comes and watches my videos. Make the rest of your day a great day, like always. Peace out. See you in the next one. Good morning. I am currently on my way to Cars and Coffee. It is the first one I've been to in I think about 2 months since I got stuck going to work and whatnot. So I'm really excited to see what's actually going to show up this time. I'm hoping to see a few newer cars, stuff I haven't seen before. Typically the turnout can be either all the same things or everything's completely different, but I'll go ahead and head on down there, and then I will start showing you guys everything that I see that's, you know, kind of standing out. Honestly, one of my favorite things about Cars and Coffee is driving there. It's just like kind of early in the morning. It starts around 8 o'clock, so the sun's just barely coming up a little bit. For me, I gotta drive clear across town. And if you guys don't already know, I live in Wichita, Kansas, and I'm from the west side. The Cars and Coffee events are always clear out on the east side of town, but it's just a nice smooth cruise every time. And you always get to see some really cool cars driving there. It's pretty often you'll be seeing people driving around in their like 458s or their 911s or their little Miatas and stuff. It's awesome. Get a Mustang on some fat boys right there. Look at them tires. Alright, so I'm here where it's at. This is on the WSU campus. This is where they hold it now. They used to hold it at a place called the Alley, which is basically like a go-kart bowling alley, just arcade style building. They had a huge parking lot there, and then they, I guess, just decided to move it somewhere else due to people acting like idiots, which is pretty typical for Cars and Coffee anywhere. It's in a new location compared to the last couple years, but it seems to be going well. So they have a speed trap here. I don't know if you can see it on screen because it's an LED. It might be flashing for you, but look at it go. There's the Mustang again. I'm honestly gonna assume that the parking lot's not full yet because there's probably, it starts at 8, so there's probably not almost everyone who usually comes. It'll probably take 30 minutes to an hour for everybody to show up here. So we will see what comes in and what does not. This is a really nice Evo 10. Got the, looks like Works here, 2-piece maybe. It's even got the Japanese prefecture. The plate, I think, is what it says in the year. So, prefecture, year, and then model of the vehicle. Also, a lot of people don't do center caps on these because it's like almost $200 just for the center caps after you buy a $4,000 set of wheels. You also couldn't have Cars and Coffee without a few motorcycles. I don't know anything about motorcycles, but they look cool. This Skyline is actually so sick. I have no idea if it's actually a GTR or not. It's probably a GTT or a GTST. Based on the fender badge. It says GT on it.
Everybody got mad at it, and then like a week later he posted it.
A pretty clean Mazda 6. And just a Corvette looking. I actually know the guy that owns that car. His name is Tan, and that's one of his friends that owns the E36 right there. That is right hand drive.
Yeah, I think I just saw one for sale at some point.
Maybe one day soon I will be able to have a turbo that big on my 2J. Every time I see a Type R like this, I just want one. It's so freaking cool.
No problem with that. There's plenty of time.
like it's anything special. It's kind of a piece of crap, but I will say this body style of 240SX is my favorite car on the planet. Even if it's rough, it still has a soft spot in my heart, honestly. So fun fact, I work at Discount Tire. Put the wheels and tires on that. It's crazy that I see it here. I think we installed these when this was actually a brand new body style. Well, there was a lot of stuff here, but everyone left kind of early for the most part. I think it's just because it's so humid today. You can see I'm very sweaty. Everyone else is really sweaty. No one really wants to stay here for multiple hours, so it's only been probably an hour and 20 minutes since I arrived. But there are a lot of Mustangs here, and nothing can prepare you for the amount of C8 Corvettes that showed up today. A couple of Supras, that's pretty normal. A lot of Lancers, a lot of Honda Civics. Actually, there's a really cool one coming up. I might just film it for you real quick. And then the rich kids with their Ferraris and Aston Martins and stuff. There's always something a little crazy here. Multiple R35s, looks like 2 of them left already. There's a McLaren behind me. Pretty sure that's a Factory 5 kit car in front of me. Goodbye. All said and done, everything there was pretty interesting, but I don't know about you guys, but I didn't see a single 2J Swap 350Z, so kind of a bummer. I don't know. What is Kansas, man? What is Wichita? What is with this bullshit? At least I'll be the only one. I'll be sick. Just wait.